Coming up in the news, the nation's chief giving an update on the Grand Lucayan Hotel and the Grand Bahama International Airport. Also, will Member of Parliament for Marco City be ratified to run in the next general election? Our news team put the question to the local MP. And details of a meeting held with police on the frequent roadblocks revealed. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Roll-Farkas, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the nation's leader giving an update on two crucial issues impacting the economy of Grand Bahama while on a tour of construction projects on Grand Bahama yesterday. The Prime Minister told members of the media that the merits of the Grand Lucayan deal may change, but as for the acquisition of the Grand Bahama International Airport, that matter is moving full speed ahead. Megan Shepard has our top story.
The Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, along with a delegation of cabinet ministers and parliamentarians, touring infrastructure on Grand Bahama. A major bone of contention for residents is the Grand Bahama International Airport. Both the international and domestic terminals were destroyed during Hurricane Dorian and have yet to be repaired or rebuilt. The nation's leader noting that the government is now prepared to take on the airport.
The airport, my understanding is all the paperwork is completed, and that would be brought to Cabinet on Tuesday, at which time Cabinet would deliberate on it. We're prepared at this time to take over, and we were moving the management team in place. Once the management team in place, then we take over and move forward with that.
He notes that there has been ongoing discussions as it relates to the island's anchor property, the Grand Lucayan. He says that it is disappointing that the hotel is not yet opened, but provided this update.
Unfortunately, we were affected with COVID just like the rest of the world. And Bahamians, once Bahamians opened their eyes, they'd see that the disaster was not just here at the Grand Bahama, was the entire world. And hotels throughout the world has been closed down. So we were caught with that also. But in spite of that, there's been ongoing discussion. We have had professionals come in and review the agreements that we're negotiating and moving towards to ensure that it's compliant with international standards, and we're getting the best price that we possibly can at this particular point in time. And I'm satisfied that we have professionals reviewing that.
Now, the Prime Minister added that he was unable to provide an exact date on the reopening.
What I can say that as we come out of this COVID era, the hotels will be ready, the airlines will return, and the airport and everything will be ready. So Grand Bahama will be ready for this rebound coming out of COVID.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, Chairman of the Opposition Progressive Liberal Party issuing a statement on the Prime Minister's tour of Grand Bahama. Senator Fred Mitchell calling it another desperate but expensive election campaign ploy, adding that among the Prime Minister's many stops were the Holmes Rock School and the government complex in 8 Mile Walk, which Mitchell terms PLP projects. The PLP chairman contends that yesterday's tour is a sad reminder that the FNM did absolutely nothing to advance the quality of life for Grand Bahama residents, saying no airport, no hospital, but ongoing promises about the opening of the Grand Lucayan Hotel. Mitchell charging that there are no plans for a reputable hotel and casino operator. He says the Port Lucayan marketplace is dead and there's no airlift to support the promised opening. The PLP chairman says the Prime Minister's frequent trips in recent time will not sway voters this time around. Well, both major political parties are in the process of ratifying candidates for the 2022 elections, and both parties have committed to a mixture of fresh faces and experience. FNM leader Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has gone on record to say not all incumbents will be ratified this time around, and that has sent social media into overdrive, some speculating as to who will be dropped and who will get the nod. Well, despite social media postings, the incumbent member of Parliament for Marco City says he is confident that he will be in the race for the Free National Movement come Election Day. Our Megan Shepard reports.
Member of Parliament for Marco City, the Honourable Michael Pintard, expressing optimism as it relates to his nomination for the 2022 general election. Pintard says that he fully expects to be ratified to be a part of the political race once again.
I'm very excited to continue the programs that we are engaged in Marco City, and fully expect over the course of the next few days to be a part of the group that will be ratified. We have not switched into campaign mode. Quite frankly, I think when you knock on doors right now, it should be about assessing what are the challenges your constituents have and addressing those concerns. So I'm not in the mindset of going and asking for support. I wish to give support. And when that time comes, if persons believe I've been a good steward of the trust they place in me, they'll give me another opportunity.
The Marco City MP says the past 4 years in office have been people-centered, noting that his constituency office is running one of the most robust hurricane relief programs in the country.
We continue every single week without fail to provide assistance to make sure persons' homes are secure from leakage. We have touched, we believe, thousands of Grand Bahamians, not just persons in Marco City, and we're continuing to do that. The same thing is true about our food relief program. We run an active program every week. We're working with Sawyers, with Cosright, with Johnny Smith in the meat market, and we have some strong partners, both in the Bahamas and outside, who've enabled us to run a hot meal program that we've done on parks, and as well as to do the vouchers. We're also grateful for the contribution we get from the government food program as well.
But he affirms that the efforts don't just stop there, adding that residents can expect to see his team working on other programs throughout the rest of this term.
Replacement of appliances. So we've started our appliance program. We've been very quiet about it, but we're grateful to the Bahamians in South Florida, the Bahamian Association, and others who've contributed to this program. So we're helping to replace fridge and stoves that persons would have lost during the hurricane. And we're still doing job placement. We've had significant success, not to the extent that we wish given the economy. We know that for all the help we're giving, Grand Bahamians would rather work and do that themselves. And so we're focused on creating opportunities. We're starting our basketball court in Mayfield Park. It's a full park with a community garden that is there. We'll put a hydroponic, aquaponic systems there.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Switching gears now, the Grand Bahama Christian Council giving an update tonight on a meeting held with police officials regarding the frequent roadblocks and heavy fines being issued on Grand Bahama. Christian Council leaders say they are pleased with the results. Our Jamila Mizik fills us in.
Grand Bahama Christian Council has been acting as a voice of reason recently, speaking out at what it calls excessive police road checks on the island. President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Robert Lockhart, says one of those meeting with police officials was held on Wednesday. He is calling the meeting a success as they were able to personally share their concerns from a civilian's perspective.
I must say, in talking with the police department, the Assistant Commissioner of Police have said that they will be easing up of the roadblocks to some degree, but at the same time we understood, and they were able to help us to understand, that from a crime fighting perspective the roadblocks have been very successful. They've been able to take numerous of illegal firearms off the streets, as well as identify persons who, whatever warrants out for their arrest, persons who may try to hide themselves in the community who have committed crimes. And also, I think one of their main goals, as they expressed, was to also cut down on persons speeding.
He says the police force wants to partner with and maintain a good relationship with the community, but he notes that the community's relationship with the police goes hand in hand.
That if we know of someone having an illegal firearm, or we know where an illegal firearm is, that we'll make it our business to call the police, or if we know someone is wanted by the police, that we'll play the role of calling the police, because we need to realize that if we're going to say to the police, hey, we want we don't want you to be overburdensome to us, especially the law-abiding citizens, which the police do not want to be. Then we need to also realize that we need to be in partnership with them and help them in this crime-fighting effort, and also to make sure maintain law and order in our community.
Reverend Lockhart says the excessive fines were also a topic of concern.
One of the things that the Commissioner of Police pointed out to us, as well as his leadership team, is that the police department has nothing to do with fines. They play no role in what fines are. They simply make sure that people follow the laws as they are. Those fines are determined by the legislators and by the powers that be, and the police has no role to play in that. And so that's something I want to emphasize.
However, the Grand Bahamas Christian Council president is still making an appeal to the powers that be to give some consideration to the hefty fines, especially during this time. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jamila. Well, it's all about the International Day of Love, as well as the ZNS Shopping Network. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.